Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by A.G. Hines Company. If you've got a big project coming up, if you've got a home improvement project you need to tackle this summer, tackle that project by heading to A.G. Hines Company first. They're better than any of the big national chains because they got better deals for you. They don't have to worry about, well, we've got that in Tulsa. We'll have to order that from Tulsa for you. Nope, they got it right here in Knoxville. And they've been doing it for more than 100 years. That's pretty much if you need to say something about a company, just say, well, they've been around for 100 years. That kind of tells you what you need to know. A.G. Hines Company, first-class organization, first-class people, family-owned for 4 generations. aghines.com to learn more. All right. Also closing in on 100 years, Chuck Cavalier. Chuck, longtime media member, longtime member of this panel. Chuck, thanks for being back with us. Did you enjoy your vacation?
Hilton, I'm the Hilton Head kid. 3 weeks in Hilton Head. The most traffic I find is today in West Knoxville.
There you go. That's terrific. And you don't get a beach out of it either.
Yeah, really.
All right. It's July, and that means one thing. Everything is great. I went to a website this week, a UT website, and they were talking about where things stand with the team. And basically it was this. The veterans are really stepping up and filling the leadership voids. Guys have really been working on their bodies. You wouldn't recognize them. They're bigger, stronger, faster. And the players, they've been getting together on their own. They're doing their own workouts. And I'm sitting there going, that may be all true, but if I were reading this at Valdosta State, the report in July would be, bigger, faster, stronger. Leaders are stepping up. So my question for you guys, and David, I'll start with you because you cover a lot of different programs. How seriously should you take this stuff when you hear it? Not necessarily Tennessee, but I'm a cynic. So when I see this, my first thought is everybody says that because there's nothing bad to report right now. It's what everybody does. So should people buy it? Should they be leery of it? Should they gulp it down if they want to hear it? They just love it?
I think you note it, and I think if you see a marked difference in a team, then maybe you think about, okay, well, some of that stuff in July is taking. This is a results business, and the reality is you don't get any results in July. You're just sort of out there working. Now, I do think that games in the fall are decided right now, but like, what does that mean? What does that look like? You know, at the end of the day, unless you're looking at heights and weights and 40 times and benches and leg presses for every single team, and you've got the chart and you've got the Excel sheet, you know, it is what it is. Like, okay, you know, so hope springs eternal. Drink it in right now, but, you know, come fall, either it's true or it's not. And I do think if you're winning games, you're closing teams out in the fourth quarter, those teams do look different. Yeah. And I do think that, you know, every program has the best strength coach in America, but there are some that are better than others, and people know who they are. So, you know, we'll see.
Chuck, go ahead.
Well, here's what I think part of this is. You finally have some depth at Tennessee, right? So you've got some players that are pushing some players, and you got some seniors that maybe like in the secondary didn't get as much playing time. You got people that want to get better, and if you don't do it, somebody right behind you is ready to kind of take a job. That's what I would read into it. Plus, the tangible part to me is you've had some recruiting victories, right, to do the momentum. You got a good receiver. You got a really good offensive tackle. So that's really good. And then you got the passing, the Manning Passing Academy video, Joe Milton. That's the kind of stuff that gets me fired.
There you go. See, who's the fan on the panel? Who's the fan on the panel?
That's the thing. This time of year, like, you're sitting there and you've been working for 6 months, and you're in the building every day. You see guys in the weight room. You see guys running. Everybody's always fired up. And I remember year one of Pruitt, the week of the game, you started to hear some, like, no, we got something for West Virginia. We're going to shock West Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
We got something. You heard, like, it was pretty loud. And I went into the game and going, we'll see. It didn't really work out. So, like,
you got Kai
I just think you're there every day. It's been 6 months. You've seen all that work. And I think naturally, in every program, there's an optimism that builds.
Yes.
So it might be true, it might not.
I would just say that we've covered in 20 years of doing this show, this will be our 21st football season, we've reported a lot of Julys where, it's going to be special. They're looking so much better. And then you come out and they're 5-7.
Yeah.
So I just don't buy it, but this is what, you're the guy it's for, Vince.
David said, drinking it in. Well, Chuck apparently.
Gulping it, yeah.
But seriously, to that point, it's who's saying it and who has heard it before. Like, some fans have probably seen those 5 and 7 years on the heels of, everything is going great in the offseason. But under Josh Heupel, those things, there has been development. There has been the culture. There, you have seen it play out in guys coming together and doing the personal work. So at least, whether it's true or not, I don't have the answer to that. It is a little bit more believable going into this season with Josh Heupel, I think, than maybe some others where you feel like, well, anybody can say that.
Yeah, I can't speak to the Butch era, but I will say the one thing you hear a lot about this program is that people like being in the facility.
Yeah.
Like since Heupel has taken over, I think that is very real. And over the course of 6 months, over the course of 7-month, 8-month off season, I do think that kind of thing can pay off and pay dividends in the fall. So if guys are not waking up and dragging themselves to the facility and waking up
dreading
and
it.
getting there 15 minutes early to hang out with people, I do think that
Yeah, like
does
Tripping
have a
over helmets.
tripping over helmets.
And they
it
did
does have a
under
tangible effect.
Yeah.
They did under Pruitt because a ton of players have talked about how different it is under Heupel than how they dreaded being around.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, I'm not just taking shots here at Tennessee and saying don't believe that. If we were covering Southern Cal,
Yeah.
the reports would be the same three things.
what it is.
And I would be doing a show in LA saying, I've heard this before, we'll see. To me, that's more of a hindsight type of thing.
Yes.
Right.
It's after the season you come back and go, well, in the summer they were doing this, and this.
Right.
Because I've just heard it too many times when it didn't show up on the field. We'll see if it does this year at Tennessee or at Georgia or at Kentucky because they're all saying it right now.
Results business.
All right, when we come back, Ryan Callahan will give us a full update on Tennessee's recruiting efforts. We talked last week, are things going well enough? He'll show us, tell us what's going on and how well Tennessee can finish up this class. Come on back on the Sports Source.